Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from JKS, checking in on the solar sector and that win name and that ETF. I clean. I don't I don't know why it it always takes me a minute to recall. Anyway, I look at them every day, But anyway, let's see here. So I'm on the 3-month chart, quarterly chart, I guess you might call it. And the reason for that, I just have a couple reasons. One, I just want to highlight that we are the bulls are, or price action, I should say, is currently above this previous consolidation structure from way back when, from just recently after its inception. So that's pretty meaningful to me, And on this time frame, it sure looks like a rounded bottom. And if you're an Elliott wave trader, then this is starting. I mean, not starting, but it sure looks like this has the potential to be a 3-wave, right? This is a big old impulse wave, and so, and I don't want to get whatever too esoteric here, but if that is the case, then we are looking for this target up here, 158.42. That is the target. 158.42 is the target if you are anticipating this to be a 1, 2, 3 situation we got going on here. And the DeMark count would affirm that, right? Right now we're working on a quarterly 8. You anticipate to get to a 9. So that would have us in what, like, let's see, like 5 more months of potentially seeing green or sideways. So we are, it's certainly supportive. The DeMarcan is definitely supportive of that Elliott wave potential, this being a 3-wave here. All right, so, and the monthly chart is also supportive of that. We are on a 7 of 9. We'd anticipate to get to a 9, particularly when this is such a strong trend with huge volume on it. I would be surprised if it could happen, of course, but I would be surprised if we didn't reach a 9 here. And it's one of those situations where the thrust is so powerful that I would anticipate something like this, like a big 9, and then maybe even consolidation above the 9 because of how powerful this is. And you can see it's a kind of similar, right? You have a big volume on this move up, so well, it's something to be mindful of. That the charts are still macro charts, while of course extended. It seems like there's still a little room, like as wild as it may seem. And the weekly chart is also supportive of that, right? We're not getting the 1 to 4 bars consolidation. I mean, this is definitely a 1 bar consolidation, but this green 2 above the green 1, not so much anymore. Of course we can break above and break below, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of consolidation like this again. But that's all speculation. Where the last volume was is way back here, 75, 74. So let's see where that shelf is. I believe I've marked off the zone of interest from that prior consolidation range. Guess not. I did. This is the top of it. Okay. So this yellow line up here, which is like 106.40, is here. Let me just zoom out again. I believe it's drawn on the monthly chart. Yes. Oh no. Should be like this. So that is the highest close on the monthly chart of this entire structure. That's a line in the sand for me. If the bulls can stay above this, oh gosh, there's too many things here. If they can stay above this 102.50 level, I think that would be very bullish. So let me just kill some of this stuff that I probably won't need. Kill this. Okay, don't need that probably. So let me show you what this looks like. Yeah, although very extended, we are anticipating to get to a 9. The weekly chart, it's still very, very healthy, like I said. So on the daily, what are we looking at here? So the daily is, if anything, is a bit more questionable because we had that liquidity break today, and there are some names that close near the high, like Tesla or PLTR close. No, there's something else. Workhorse closed near the high. Well, that's because of the news. But my point is that some names did not close near the high. In fact, some names closed near the low, and TAN is one of those. So all things considered, knowing that the macro is still pretty bullish, but that the correlation today on the day is kind of weak, I would not be surprised if we started to see some consolidation on the daily time frame. You can see this was essentially a week of bounce, and we haven't pulled back yet to set a daily high or low. And so today, essentially, we have done so. So we'll be mindful of the hourly trend. We know that we're looking to set an hourly high or low with anything over, I assumed that it would be there. With anything over 106.89 being a daily high or low, and we are just looking for the potential of that to be set, ideally, in hourly oversold conditions. And so if we zoom into the hourly time frame, you can see the odds of the odds of an hourly lower high being set after some bounce is very good, right? An hourly lower high under 125.98 is very likely. And so if bears can defend that high of 125.98 and break below 116.66, they'll change that hourly trend, that price action trend change, and we'd be looking for that daily high or low with anything again over 106.89 being one. And so if we can get hourly oversold conditions into these levels right here, where we have this hourly TD support that only recently started printing up, the hourly Vegas waves, which has recently held. I know my trend comes into play, this trend line comes into play over here a little bit lower. And of course, then I would also be knowing that this was that last little consolidation structure before a move up, right? And it was defended. So bottom fishing here with in hourly oversold conditions, looking for a daily pivot, in my opinion, is a pretty good look. So I like something like that, right? And we would just be looking to get to the top side of the range. And you can see I'm not going all the way to the range because I don't, I don't anticipate it to be perfect, right? So, I would rather just take what I can get, like maybe, I don't know, maybe here, right? It would come test these where there was some bear flags and whatnot, right? I mean, it's up to you, right? It's just a little, call it a framework. Alrighty, let's see here. That's about it. So we're just watching this key hourly resistance and all-time high. No, it's not all-time high. Just key hourly resistance 125.98, key hourly support 116.66. Potentially looking for a daily higher low. So JKS, we are still just watching this flag, still just watching this potential flag shake out. It looks looks like a flag. There's not much else to say, I guess. I guess you might call it more of a pennant than a flag because of the it's more sideways. But then again, I guess could make an argument for. Nah, not really. I don't love the argument for a diamond. All right, so really that's all I care about for JKS, right? And we know that we're being mindful of this potential this downwards channel, this like little potential structure. We're not terribly confident in it. We're much more confident in the support than we are the resistance because there's just not a lot of affirmations for the resistance. That being said, we did get reactive off of these price action tops, and so far that's really all we care about. If we can't get over these local price action highs, then obviously the trend line is not in play yet. But as we go sideways, you can see the trend line comes lower, and then they will coincide with these tops more, be more inclined to play off of it. So pretty big rejection today after trying to break to a higher high straight from a bounce after breaking to lower lows. This kind of choppy behavior is what we expect. This kind of price action chop is what we expect whenever we're in a consolidation structure. So, hopefully we are taking profit near the that's why these zones are marked off. If you're in here and you're in good profit and you're not taking some off, especially because our trade was down here, that's you maybe getting a little greedy, right? That's a big move. So always pay yourself, okay? Protect your partials, and remember that if you sell, even if it keeps ripping, when it does pull back and you have to buy higher, that's still better because the bulls came to prove it, and now you're trying to get in on some consolidation knowing that they have just showed up recently, right? So, yeah, pay yourself. The trade gets a lot easier to manage once you start paying yourself. Every trade. Once you start paying yourself as soon as you can, it becomes a lot easier to manage, much lower stress. You'll be more clear-minded. Okay, so let's check the hourly trend to see if we are looking for a daily high or low yet. Anything over 57.67 will be one. No, not yet. So we're not quite looking for that. Oh, sweet. So we're not quite looking. This should have been set up Wednesday, so that's nice. The heck was I saying? Yes. So we have currently pulled back from the high quite a bit, and an hourly lower high under 75.27 is very likely. And so if the bears can defend this high of 75.27 and break to lower lows under 67.05, then we will be scouting that daily high or low with anything over 57.67 being one. And again, being very mindful that support breaks in consolidation structures do break very often, like over here and over here, without much follow through. Okay, so we'll be sure to include some scales below. We're not going to use a hard stop down there. We want to bottom fish these lows over here in hourly oversold conditions, maybe starting like somewhere over here. Okay, in hourly oversold conditions. We'll play these bounces. Something like that. Alrighty. Okay, so run confirmed a daily downtrend today, and I don't. I hopefully we have that prior setup there. Hopefully I didn't move that box. Okay, here we go. So if you'll recall, I'll just kill this for now. We don't need that. Well, yeah, we don't need that right now. Okay, so if you recall, the original zone was set up. You know what? Let me start on the weekly. So right now the weekly is looking for a higher low. Anything over 5606 will be a weekly higher low. So we're just being mindful of this daily trend. The daily trend will be our guide, and we are currently watching these previous tops here. This highest close is at 76.45. If the bulls can continue to stay above that level, then they'll just keep stair stepping up, right? That's what a bull wants to see. All right. That being said, there's a little step, so to speak, over here where this highest close is 66.75. So if we were to pull back, I'll just kill these. We don't need this. If we were to pull back, I would not be surprised if we were to find some potential support here. Okay. Looking again for that weekly higher low. So we're mindful of this 66.75 level, and you can see that the volume, a bunch of volume comes in over there as well. So we'll be mindful of that. Anyway, my point. Let's see. This was a nice little follow-up trade for the other day, but whatever. So my point is, because this bounce was set up for these 2 days, after it leaves the zone of interest, you don't really want to just leave these fills down here. And I know this last one didn't trigger, but if you didn't get this final fill, then you probably want to reserve that risk capital. And so after you see this bounce have some follow through, hopefully you paid yourself and you took some profits off. And now if it is to come back down, and we're still looking for a weekly higher low. And so if we're being aggressive, we can still keep playing all these hourly oversold bounces, assuming that one of these hourly oversold bounces could turn into a daily low, which could then lead to a daily higher low, which could then lead to a daily trend change, which could then be the weekly higher low. So if we're being very aggressive and playing all of these hourly oversold bounces, trying to catch the right daily pivot, then you'll probably want to have paid yourself, had your stop below, or leave your stop there, but lowering your cost basis by paying yourself, and then reallocating that money when the hourly gets extended again. So if we zoom in today, you can see the hourly did get extended again, giving you another hourly oversold bounce play over here. And ideally, this would be a chop situation for you, and you've taken off some if you're swung it into the next day. The low was not taken out today, so it's still potentially in play. So if you were to set this up over again, it might look something like this. So this trade is pretty much done, and maybe I don't know, it depends on how you managed it. It gave you plenty of opportunity to take profit, right? So if you got these 2 fills, it gave you plenty of opportunity to take profit. So hopefully you're managing this trade comfortably. And now, if you were to be looking again, I would be looking like this, right? So today, maybe you would have got 1 fill, and then tomorrow, if you can get it buried deeper, great, we'll grab another one, and just playing it the same exact way, right? Now it's a little bit different though, because we do have a daily downtrend. So you'll probably want to be a bit conservative. And there are many ways in which you can do that, right? You can be conservative by sizing down. You can be conservative by using a different strategy. So instead of using straight commons, maybe you want to sell options or write options that have time on your side. I don't know, whatever that means to you. Consider being a bit more conservative now that we've had a daily lower high and have broken to lower lows, but we are still just looking for a weekly higher low. And so honestly, if you wanted to be very patient and you want to grab that weekly higher low, you could wait for 4-hour oversold conditions, which is right down here. So if you have no trade on right now and your focus is that 4-hour higher low, you could theoretically make a play like this. I actually rather like this play, right? So it's into the 4-hour Vegas waves, it's into the 4-hour TD support, it would be into this prior consolidation area, right, where there's a lot of volume. I like this actually quite a bit. So if you have no trade on right now, I think I would rather prefer this instead of playing every single oversold balance. It's a lot of management. Now, of course, that being said, because you're just trying to set it and forget it here, there's a potential of this trade to just leave without you. So, pros and cons, right? Always pros and cons. Personally, I think this is a very reasonable trade. Looking for that weekly higher low. I don't know where my phone is, but it is vibrating and it is bothering me. All right, if you can hear that, I apologize. Anyway, so still looking for that weekly higher low on Sunrun. FSLR, just range bound. We're just watching that range whenever we're range bound. That's all we care about. On the macro charts, monthly chart is a perfect 8. And we are trying to hold above these tops. It would be a very good look if the bulls can continue to hold over these monthly tops on the macro chart. So over $71. Quite a lot of space for bulls to set a higher low over that. And there's not even monthly consolidation yet. Weekly chart, very similar. Just kind of a stair step up. We're watching this channel structure as well. Bulls are holding over this prior consolidation range after backtesting it a few times. So really just range bound. That's it. We're just range bound. We are trying to hold, bulls are trying to hold above these mid 90 levels, but are unable to get over the 110s. And so I do like bottom fishing plays here. If you can get hourly oversold into this base, I think that's very reasonable. I don't know if I love any short plays in this sector right now. I just feel like there's much more bullish overhang than there is bearish. I would just wait to get bearish here. You know, we'll let the bears prove it a little bit, you know, with some big moves down across the sector, especially like if it's a bullish day for everybody else. Okay, the bears are proving it a bit, and then maybe we can start getting cute here with shorts, but for now, you know, cautious with shorts. All right, not exactly the best sector to short. I don't really even care about the hourly trend because we're just in this sideways chop. But that being said, the key hourly resistance is 112.50 and the key hourly support is 102.40. But again, I don't care. Like, I just really care about, look how choppy of a mess this is. You know, like you're trying to play trend action, price action trend changer is no, thank you. Just play the range. All right. Monthly chart of NEE, 7 of 9. Oh, it's like a Star Trek character. Anyway, dating myself and exposing my nerdy tendencies. Is that next gen? No. Anyway, sorry. Weekly 7 of 9, very healthy chart. Backtested this previous highest close. Beauty backtest. Look at that backtest. My goodness. All right, so pretty healthy monthly chart. We are watching. Why? What is? Oh, that was that little daily channel. I'm gonna kill this. We don't need this anymore. The weekly chart is also very healthy from a TD perspective. This is so trendy. You would definitely expect at least, you know, to get. You would expect to get to a 9. So like 3 more weeks potentially of upside from a TD perspective. And this is a blue sky bull. So, you know, very. Wait. Yes. Very likely, right? It's not that it's very likely, but the odds of it happening are better, right? Because there's no overhead resistance, and we're in a bullish sector. Wow, sweet. I should check my RA. Okay, so NEE had a really strong day today. I shouldn't have gotten frustrated with his name. It was so boring here. I thought we could just chop around more. Oh well. Okay. Anyway, so the daily chart is pretty much beast mode, right? Blue sky bull closed very high, closed near the high of the day, very strong relative to other names. I would say the last daily higher low here was here at 78.54. So, you know, there's really no bears in sight right now. Big volume day. Let's check the hourly trend. Still very healthy. Yeah, we're just potentially like a pennant or a flag. You know, very healthy consolidation right now. We're looking at potentially an hourly EQ. And we're just looking for an hourly higher low right now. Anything over 84.07 will be an hourly higher low. If they can defend that low of 84.07, break to higher highs over 87.69, there will just be more blue sky continuation, hourly, daily bounce. Follow through. Okay, so there's really no signs of bears yet. If you are looking to short it, just wait. You know, wait for like at least a move like this, where at least you got a little lower high play. You know, of course, it ripped to new highs after breaking that support, but you probably had enough space, you know, to take some profit here. Not much. You know what? Just go short something else. You know, like there's a lot easier things to short in my opinion. Okay, I claim. Oh, that you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Little taps. All right. Well, anyway, let's check the macro chart first. Checking the monthly. Okay, 7 of 9, just like our 10 ETF. Weekly chart is printing an imperfect 9 right now. Anticipating 4 bars of consolidation upon the close. And again, if we just get like a big green one, that's very bullish, right? That would suggest that the consolidation is not going to be meaningful. Okay, like you can see all these consolidations didn't even get a TD price flip. Here's the only price flip, this red one here, since all the way back here in March. The March lows. My goodness, what a chart. My goodness. Okay. Anyway, okay. Daily trend went change to the bears and then straight into a bounce to take out local highs. So not what a bear wants to see, right? This is the potential of a flag. Wait, hold on a second. Yep, potential of a bull flag, right? It doesn't look like the structure right now, but if we start to see some bear breaks with very minimal follow through, like we did here on the daily time frame, then we'll start being, why is this risk line still pretty up? Then we will be mindful of a potential flag structure, okay? So right now I only like bottom fishing plays. That's pretty much it. If we can get, let's check the hourly trend. The hourly trend, okay, we're probably looking at a lower high tomorrow. Anything under 33.57 will be one. If the bears can defend that level, break to lower lows under 32.05, they'll change that hourly trend, and then we'll be looking for that daily higher low with anything over 30.27 being one, and ideally we'll see some hourly oversold conditions for that. So for right now, I just kind of, you know, it's a very loose guide. I guess, you know, we missed that, unfortunately. As a loose guide, you know, something like this, right? We're looking to maybe bottom fish here and get a fill off of these lows, and then maybe one potential stop hunt play, right? Making sure that we're scaling in hourly oversold conditions into the back test of this resistance line, right? So yeah, I like this play for a daily higher low. Looking for a potential daily higher low, or rather looking for a daily pivot in this consolidation structure, because it may be a lower low with minimal follow through. All right, and if that is like too aggressive of an approach, just don't trade it. No problem. You know, you don't have to trade everything, right? If you say, hey, Lamont, that's absurd, you know, a price action trend change, that low gets taken out, you're gonna buy it, that's, you know, completely wrong. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you, you know, whatever. If it doesn't work for you or whatever, you don't like it, great, no problem. Just the framework. Just the framework. I think that's it. Is that right? That is it. Alrighty then. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.